My ranking of the Beach Boys albums video. So I'm going to be ranking 30 of their studio albums because I'm going to include the Smile Sessions. I know a lot of people don't on their lists, but I just felt like it. I don't know why. But before that, I'm going to rank the 5 live albums I reviewed. So last and 5th is the Beach Boys Live 50th Anniversary Tour album. None of this is like a really bad album or anything. It's got a lot of great songs on it. It's really long. That's kind of the benefit of it. But it's just, it's older than when they were older. It's a tour that I saw it, and I've got like a Blu-ray for it. So I kind of would rather watch that if I was gonna listen to something that had to do with that tour. But for what it is, it's not a bad album at all. It's just not like, it's kind of like the last one I would go to listen to of the live albums, just because it's them when they're older. They've got like an army of backing musicians and stuff, which, seeing it live was really cool, but to just kind of listen to it and hear them older, like I'd rather listen to some of the earlier live albums, I think. But on the plus side, it has a bunch of great songs on it, so not a bad album. And 4th, I put the Beach Boys Concert. Their first live album. This I think I found at the record store, but I like the cover of this album probably more than I like the album. I like the way the vinyl looks, because it's a cool album, but like package wise, but the songs on it, like, it just doesn't have a lot of great Beach Boys songs on it really. It's got some like just not good cover songs like Long Tall Texan, Monster Mash, Papa Moo Mau Mau, just some like bad covers. But like the good songs on it are good. But I don't know, it's just kind of a weird album. It's got like Fun isn't really live. It's got stuff on like that on it that's kind of weird, but not really a bad album, just not the best live album there is. So 3rd, I have the Beach Boys Good Timin'. This one, I've never had the experience actually of just listening to the audio of it, because I have the DVD, and I didn't want to buy the CD separate because I don't know, I didn't feel like spending the money on it, so I just reviewed it using this. And I don't think it would be as good just listening to it, like, but with the DVD with the concert footage, I think it's a really cool album, and a really cool like experience to watch it. So then in 2nd, the Beach Boys Concert. This one I didn't have for a long time, and it's I've listened to it a ton since I've got it though. Just a really great live album. It's got great songs. This is the lineup from around Holland and Carl and Carl and the Passions, and I really like those albums. I like this lineup. I think it's cool. So yeah, just a really great live album. Unfortunately, Brian's not there. That's kind of the one downside. But Brian's also not on the first album on my list either, which is the Beach Boys Live in London. And this one I think really kind of just comes down to like the songs on it, since it's got some of the like Friends era stuff and the like 2020 stuff. But yeah, I don't know, this just is the live album of theirs that I have that I like the most and I listen to the most. And now for the studio album. So coming in 30th and last, I have Stars and Stripes Volume 1. This thing just like, I don't know, that was the only time I've ever listened to it when I reviewed it, and probably the only time I'll ever listen to it. It just, to me, doesn't really like have a reason to exist, because all they do on it is sing backup vocals, and like I don't know, the performances of most of the people on here like aren't even that good, and most of them I haven't even heard of. So yeah, this is just not that great. 29th, Summer in Paradise. This album, I Mike Love's kind of big moment. It's not, I mean, not all of it's as bad as what people say, but it's got some really horrible moments on it, especially the John Stamos Forever. Like that's kind of unforgivable. So 28th, Still Cruising. This one, I actually like some of the songs on it. Like I like Still Cruising. I like Somewhere Near Japan. I like Island Girl. In My Car, I can't really remember that well off the top of my head. I like Kokomo. Actually, I know everybody hates that, but I like Kokomo. Wipeout I hate. Make It Big I don't remember. And then it's just got three songs from other albums on it, so I kind of take it down for that a little bit. But yeah, Still Cruising is actually like not a horrible album. It just comes in really low on the list because they've got a lot of other better stuff. 27th of the Christmas album. This one, like, I'm not a fan of Christmas music at all, but this one's kind of grown on me a little bit. This album, actually, this was another one I found at a record store. I kind of didn't want to get it, but I was like, I kind of have to get it, because I was like, it's there. I'll probably want to get it eventually, so I might as well get it now. So I bought it, and I didn't really listen to it until like kind of recently. I was like, I might as well listen to that and see how it sounds. And actually, after listening to it on vinyl, I like it a lot more than I used to. I don't know. I just thought it sounded better. Maybe it was just, you know, in my head. I don't know. But maybe it's probably also that I've listened to it like three or four times now. So it's kind of like starting to grow on me a little bit because of that. But not a bad album, just not super into Christmas music, so it's pretty low. I have like way too many albums here to try to figure out like which ones to get next. So 26, the Beach Boys from I think 1985. This one, mainly just the production I think is terrible, is why it's so low. I mean, I like some of the songs on here, some of them not so much, but like Get You Back I like a lot. I like I'm So Lonely a lot. Just like, to me, this is like one of the worst, if not the worst, like produced Beach Boys album. It just sounds so 80s and so terrible. So that's why it's pretty low. Number 25, Party. This one, I don't know. I don't know if the whole party thing was such a good idea. It kind of, there's some good moments on here, like some good songs. I think the Beatles covers are really good. Helly Gully's not great. Papa Ooh My Mouth's not great. I like Mountain of Love a lot. I think Devoted to You is pretty good. Alley-Oop, not great, but you know, it's got some good songs on it. It's got Barbara Ann on it. This one came with Stack of Tracks, which I'm not actually ranking Stack of Tracks, but if I did, that would be after Stars and Stripes. It would be second to last, but I'm not including it. But I did kind of include it by saying that, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So yeah, Party, not one of their best albums, but it's got some good moments on it. Number 24, their first album, Surfin' Safari. I mean, they were just like super young here, and the songs are kind of silly, but I do kind of like some of them. I like to listen to it every now and then. It's not, I mean, it's not a horrible first album. It's just not like one of the best first albums of all time. So number 23, Little Deuce Coupe, the kind of first concept album thing that they did about cars. The thing that kind of drags this one down for me, actually, because I do kind of like all the songs on this one, really. It's just that it's got repeat songs that were on earlier albums, so that's kind of what makes it so low. But I kind of like it almost better than the next album. Well, yeah, the next album on my list, which is Surfing USA, the second album. I think if Little Deuce Scoop didn't have mostly songs that were on other albums, or not mostly, but like a lot of songs that are on other albums, then I think it would probably beat this album, because this is a lot of instrumentals, which is not really what I want to hear from the Beach Boys. But the songs that are on it that they sing are really good. So not a bad second album, just a lot of instrumentals, which, you know, for a like vocal group, it's not really what you want to hear. Number 21, Keeping the Summer Alive. This one I'd always heard really bad things about, and I don't really think it's that bad. I've kind of grown to like a lot of, or some of it quite a lot. Like Sunshine a lot. Like Living with a Heartache a lot. I can't remember. There was at least like one other one that I liked a lot, but yeah, I don't know. It's got some weaker moments on it, but I don't think it's that bad of an album, really. I think it kind of, I don't know, it just fits in with that later kind of half of their career that I don't think is that bad. Like right before they kind of got bad. Number 20, That's Why God Made the Radio. This one I feel like is probably higher up on my list than it would be on some people's. I did just kind of like criticize them on the live album for having like the army of backing musicians and the older voices and stuff, but I don't know, I like this album. Some of it might be nostalgia, because this was like the only album of new material that I've been able to buy from them since I've been a fan, and probably ever will get to buy. So just for that, it was an exciting album. But I mean, it's not great, but I think it's got some good songs on it, some catchy songs, and yeah, I don't know. I just think it's cool that they did, because I don't think that, and it kind of would have sucked if they had gone out on Summer in Paradise. There's like way too many albums on this list. I keep losing my place. That is not right. No, it is. Alright, so 19, Shutdown Volume 2. This one, I don't know. I've always liked this one, I think, more than most people do. That's all I can really think of to say about that one. Number 18, Summer Days and Summer Nights. So this one, I don't know, this one's got some really great songs on it. Probably, I mean, some of their most well-known songs, at least, with California Girls. I think this is the one with, yeah, this is the one with Help Me Rhonda. But it's also, it's just got some, it's got like Amusement Parks USA and I'm Bugged at My Old Man, which I kind of do like that one a little bit, but I don't know, it's just, to me as an album, it's never really like seemed to flow that well. Like it just doesn't, I don't know, to me it's not just an entire like enjoyable album to listen to, especially coming after Today, which was such like a strong album. This is just kind of like, okay, like it does have some really strong songs on it, but I don't know, it's just got some really, I don't know, it's a weird album. Like it just doesn't completely work for me. So number 17, Surf's Up. This is also probably a lot lower for me than most people would have it. I don't know. It just, to me, this is another album, or well, it's an album that I think kind of was a missed opportunity for them, because there's some really great Dennis songs that didn't make the album that would have, I think, really kind of elevated it and put it up. Definitely a few spots. Especially like if they had taken off Student Demonstration Time, because that's like one of the absolute worst things I think that's ever been on a Beach Boys album. That song is just so horrible. Like, I can't even listen to it when I listen to this. I always skip that thing. It is terrible. And but I don't know, that this album does have a bunch of great stuff on it, but it just, that song sucks, and then it could have been so much better if it had, you know, one or two of the Dennis songs that were left off. But I'm not really like, I'm not counting it down because it doesn't have those songs on it. It's really just because, to me, it's not one of the albums I go to that much. And I also decide that I don't like that I have to skip Student Demonstration Time every time. So, number 16, All Summer Long. Another one I don't really have a whole lot to say about. Not one that I've listened to a whole lot, but well, I mean, I've listened to it a lot, but not one of the ones that like I go to listen to the most. It's got some great stuff on it. I think the first side of the album is definitely a little bit stronger than the second half of it, though. Number 15, 15 Big Ones. This is another one that I think that a lot of people would probably rank lower. I don't know, I've just always really really enjoyed this one for some reason. I just think it's a fun album. I know a lot of it's covers, and there are songs on it that I don't really like that much, but I don't know, I just have a lot of fun listening to this one usually. Number 14 is Surfer Girl. Kind of their earliest album that I really like a lot, and I think like pretty much from like here on, like I like almost every song on most of these albums. This one, like, you know, has some songs that are kind of filler, but I still kind of enjoy them really, just because I like the band's sound so much. But yeah, pretty good album, I think, for their third album. So 13th, and another one that I know is a lot higher than what most people would have it, the MIU album. So this album, I know a lot of people hate. I don't know, I've just always liked it. That out now, I'm not gonna be able to get it back in. Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of songs on it that I like. She's Got Rhythm, Come Go With Me, Won't You Come Out Tonight, Kona Coast, I like. My Diane's great. I don't know, I just I go on the rant and the review of the video, of course. I think that the Hey Little Tomboy, while it's got terrible lyrics, is like the rest of it's not bad. So it doesn't bother me that much, because I'm like, okay, if this had different lyrics, it would not be a bad song. So I kind of just make up lyrics to it when it comes on. But yeah, I don't know, MIU album, I just don't think it's really that bad of an album. And number 12, LA album. This one, Light album, I guess. I've always just kind of called it LA because it came out after the other one that has, you know, like initials or whatever, and they were on the same CD. So I don't know, I'm rambling, it's late, and I just like had a really long day at work. yeah, I don't know. This one, I've just always really liked this album a lot. I think that Dennis and Carl's kind of like increased involvement, and this one just puts it a little bit over the MIU album. But really, it does have a song for me that's kind of quite a bit weaker on it than a lot of things, which is the 10-minute disco. I can't remember what's the name of the song. Here Comes the Night. Yeah, the 10-minute disco. Here Comes the Night. The songs are on the cover. I'm like looking at them and I can't remember. I'm so stupid. Anyway, yeah, Here Comes the Night. I don't know why they turned it into a 10-minute disco song. If they turned it into a 5-minute disco song, maybe that wouldn't have been so bad. But 10 minutes, that's just, it's way too long. And that's really the only problem I have with this album. I like the rest of it, so. Number 11, Smiley Smile. This one, it's definitely grown on me a lot over the years. I used to not really like it that much at all, but now I just think it's a really cool album. Number 10, I have Today. This one, I feel like I have it too low, kind of, because I love this album. I think all of it's great, except for Bull Session with Big Daddy, but that's the last thing, and so it's super easy to skip. But at least on the CD, just turn it off. But, like, I don't know, I think maybe I've listened to this album too much because listening to it through doing these reviews, I didn't have the same reaction to it that I did to some of these other albums that I put higher. So I think that, this is a great album, and I think that it's got like some of their best early stuff on it, but I think I just kind of listened to it way too much, so that might be why it's down a little bit lower, because I have to say that if I had ranked these albums before I went through and listened to them all to review them, it would have been a lot different than it is now. Number 9, and these kind of like the top 10 here, these were all really hard to pick, and I feel like they could all change around on any time really. But number 9, Carl and the Passions, So Tough. This is another one that took me a while to get into, but it's really kind of risen in like how much I like it, and I almost feel like I put it too low. Like, I really had a hard time placing this one because I almost feel like it should be higher. But definitely, I think a really, really good album. Number 8, The Beach Boys, 2020. This one's kind of gone down a little bit for me over the years. I used to really like this one, and it's another one I think that, like today, it's just kind of I've kind of worn it out a little bit because I just didn't have the same reaction to it this time. I almost feel like I put this one a little too high this time. I almost feel like I could swap this and Carl and the Passions, but it's too late. I already did it. But like I said, any of the top 10 could really change around for me almost, except for maybe, well, no, even the top like 5 could change around at any time. Alright, so number 7, Holland. This one, I kind of feel like I put this a little too high, but I also feel like I couldn't put it lower. I know that probably makes no sense, but yeah, this one I've listened to a ton also. Just it's always been one of my favorite albums of theirs. Number 6, the one that not a lot of people included, I'm going to put the Smile Sessions. This was really hard to place. I mean, it's not like finished, which I guess is probably why not a lot of people include it. But I kind of wanted to, just because it was the only other thing that I've really got to kind of buy that's came out. Well, I mean, there's other stuff that has, but it was like the first thing that I got to buy after being a Beach Boys fan, like the first new thing that was coming out. That was like really exciting, and it was a really cool thing to, I mean, come out. Really, it was being Smile, like that was super cool to just get into the band, and then that was coming out like a year later almost. But yeah, it's a really cool thing. It's like, it's kind of a shame that this version isn't like as finished as the '04 version, because I do kind of like this better, just because it's got the Beach Boys vocals on it, and even though there are like parts missing or whatever, I don't know. I didn't really, I don't know, this one I couldn't put all the way at like first, just because it's not one that I like listen to a lot. Like, it's kind of a album you have to be in the mood for, I feel like. So number 5, Friends. This one, I used to like 2020 a lot better than this one, because I have them paired on a CD. And Friends is an album that just like, I don't know, every time I listen to it now, it just kind of gets better to me. Just a really cool, really like chill album. Number 4, Sunflower. This one's another one that I've listened to it so much that I think it's starting to kind of, like, not as, I don't know, I almost wanted to put Friends above it, but I kind of had to put Sunflower ahead of Friends, so. But that's another thing that like might change. Number 3, Pet Sounds, probably like the most like shocking thing in this list. Because I think most people would put this at number 1. Yeah, I mean, it's a great album. I love this album. I mean, every song on it really is great, but to me, it's not one that I listen to a whole lot, and I guess it's never really been my number 1 Beach Boys album. It's probably always floated like around here at number 3. Like, it might have like gone up to number 2 at times, but this has never really been my favorite Beach Boys album. But I do think that it deserves all the credit and everything it gets, but it's not my favorite. So number 2, another one that's kind of grown on me a lot recently, like Friends, like Wild Honey. This almost number 1, especially since my one at number 1 is definitely one that I'm a little, like, I've listened to it a little bit way too much. But I had to be myself and pick the weirdest one for number 1. But still, Wild Honey, an album that could be my favorite Beach Boys album on any day, really. And then finally, number 1, I have the Beach Boys' Love You. This album is a really weird album. It's probably not really for everyone, but I don't know. I just think it's just a really cool, really fun album. Like, it's just funny, and it's sketchy, and it's really strange, and just a lot of fun. So that's my ranking. So kind of disjointed and rambly, but it's really late, so.